Did you know that we almost went to war yesterday? And when I say that, I mean that Donald Trump, he authorized a strike on Iran and then changed his mind. So that's good that we live in that sort of political situation. President Trump approved military strikes against Iran in retaliation for downing an American surveillance drone, but pulled back from launching them on Thursday night after a day of escalating tensions. Planes were in the air and ships were in position, but no missiles had been fired when word came to stand down. So I want to delve into that language just a little bit. So that's the New York Times. They know what they're doing, right? They're journalists, I'm not. He approved it in retaliation for downing an American surveillance drone. I always love how retaliation and causality is referred to in the media, where it would be retaliation for downing the drone. And we will go no further back in history than that. They did that, and so now we're acting. That was not caused by another thing that was caused by another thing that was caused by another thing. And yeah, after a day of escalating tensions, but that's such a passive statement. He was escalating tensions. His administration were escalating tensions. On Twitter, in interviews, they were doing it. It wasn't just like they're in a cloud of escalating tensions. They're like, what should we do?
There's a lot happening here. That's like a microcosm of the world, right? So first of all, the Trump's flightiness and fickle-headedness plays out all over the place. And here it played out in people in planes going, I'm gonna go bomb someone. Never mind, I'm not gonna go bomb someone. The raising and lowering of tensions, this is the same kind of approach it seemed that he had when he was one day calling Kim Jong-un Rocket Man, and the next day he's my best friend. And I like stability. I like being stable, but if the person in charge of the country is unstable, we're gonna get stuff like this that is itself so wildly unstable. And it's not just with this. Today in Missouri, for a few hours, there were not gonna be any abortion clinics open in the entire state for a few hours. And then a judge came in and was like, not so fast. But that's how I feel about everything right now.
It's so contingent.
It's so contingent on whims and strange things, but it informs you two things. One, the person in charge is flighty and ridiculous. And the other thing is how close we are to these drastic, terrifying changes that affect so many people, that the power to make those changes is in the hands of people who've been spending decades to wrest it away from the concept of democracy.
Yeah, and that's an important point. Like, we will, I think, rightly focus on the fact that Donald Trump's whim is apparently day by day guiding things. So he authorizes a strike and then he turns it back. He wanted to overthrow the government of Venezuela and then apparently got bored with it. That was news yesterday as well, I think on Business Insider. But that does not mean that it is just whim. I mean, after all, Donald Trump put John Bolton in a position to get us closer to war. Trump not pulled out. He violated the terms of the, he violated the terms of the treaty that we had with Iran, the nuclear treaty. He has been demonizing them for literally years. So his whim decided what happened last night, but that is not the only data point that we have to care about, and that's the sort of thing that should be included in analysis like this. But I do want to read just a couple of the tweets that he sent out on why he changed his mind. He said, on Monday, they shot down an unmanned drone flying in international waters. That is disputed. We were cocked and loaded to retaliate last night on 3 different sites when I asked, how many will die? 150 people, sir, was the answer from a general. This is literally the script that he's gonna be reading from at a rally soon. 10 minutes before the strike, I stopped it. Not proportionate to shooting down an unmanned drone. I am in no hurry. Our military is rebuilt, new and ready to go, by far the best in the world. Sanctions are biting and more added last night. Iran can never have nuclear weapons, not against the USA, not against the world. That's why he pulled out of a treaty that was stopping them from having them.
This dude should not have nuclear weapons, especially because it wasn't until the planes were on the way to do this thing that he asked the question, so are we gonna kill anybody?
Yes, what did you think was, like, what I have to imagine was a day of meetings about this. Never brought up the possibility that somebody could die. What did he think they were bombing?
I have no idea.
A swimming pool?
And no one's gonna have any remote idea about any of this.
Yeah.
It's so incredibly frustrating.
And here's the thing, like, so it's great that our our fickle, petulant child of a president decided to not start a war that he had decided earlier in the day to start. That's great. But I'm not gonna pretend that we're going back to some sort of status quo where we're not closer today than we were a day or a week ago to war with Iran and all that comes with that, literally for potentially decades, for tens of thousands of people, hundreds of billions of dollars, all that stuff. We are still very much in a horrendous situation. And the sort of person who waits until literally the last second to figure out what the consequences of his actions will be is still determining those actions in the future. We could be launching attacks right now as we're broadcasting this. Would you really be shocked to find out that that was going on?
And what is this all for, man? Like, we're so detached, and it's similar to when we went into Iraq. It's like, what were we doing? Because I kind of had the feeling that we were avenging 9/11, but that's not what ended up happening. That was not what it was related to whatsoever.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I would just like to say this. How's it going, Trump? Seems to be going really great, because in the meantime, in your quest to do something I'm not sure of, we have only ensured that Iran has the green light to further enrich uranium outside the bounds of a deal. And, well, I guess what's the little conciliatory measure? Gas prices went up.
Yeah.
So up yours, dude.
And how horrendous that we pulled out of a treaty that was effectively making it inconvenient to start a war with them because they could not do the things we now say we don't want them to do, but really want them to do because that would justify a war. Really fast, just to end on a little bit of a positive note. So Donald Trump says, let's do this, let's bomb this place, let's kill these people. And then he says, oh wait, people will die, let's not do it. You would have to be a real moron to credit him for saving those lives. And it's America, so we've got them. Bill Mitchell tweeted, President Trump was ready to strike 3 Iranian targets last night. He was informed this would cost 150 Iranian lives and called off the attack because one drone was not worth 150 lives. That's leadership. Paul Joseph Watson, one of the conspiracy theorists, said Trump decided to save hundreds of lives rather than act superficially tough.
Which is exactly what he did.
He decided to strike them in the first place. He didn't jump in front of a bullet at the last second, he pulled the trigger. But we live in absolutely stupid times, and so people will do ridiculous gymnastics to try to give credit to a man who authorized the death of hundreds of people. And then decide, oh wait, maybe not, maybe tomorrow. Maybe in the weekend, maybe next week, we'll see. Let's see how the polling goes next week and then we'll find out. But for now, there are people who consider themselves serious thinkers who are giving him credit for saving hundreds of lives, which before the show, we were talking about how not enough people get credit for putting a knife to a person's throat and then not slitting it. That person's a hero, they saved a life.
But the way to push this is, okay, you're less safe because of this, and we were almost in a war, and it's more expensive to fill up your gas tank. But literally what happened yesterday is he decided I'm not gonna go through with this, and as a result, the stock market rallied. So once again, the only benefit is for people with giant stock portfolios, because what? The price of gas went up, and then that's the kind of commodities they own.
Thank you for watching this clip from the Damage Report. For more content from the show and access to TYT Network members-only exclusives, go to tyt.com/Brooke. Wait, no, it's tyt.com/John. Go to tyt.com/John to sign up.